Alright, so I got a cast iron stack that's no good that's going up to my upstairs bathroom. And they built this little sheetrock box. I'm taking it all down because the pipe is in the wall. Okay, it's literally right behind this lath and plaster. So I got to take all this out. And you can see they ran the hot and water going up inside the wall. And the reason why they do that is because it gets cold in the winter and they don't want it to burst. I got to tear all this down. And what I'm going to do is try to make a hole in the lath and plaster up there, right where the box gets big, and try to cut the pipe from there and then bring it down down the basement. I think the basement's only like 7 foot, and this is a lot more than that, so I'm going to have to cut it when I go down and then probably cut it like 2 times to get that out. Like a foot or less space. Yeah, it's like 9 inches. Okay, that's what I have to deal with because I don't want to mess with this door molding, which is very ornate and historic. All right, got most of the sheetrock off up here, and I can finally see the pipe. Actually, you can see the toilet right there. That's the flange to the toilet that goes in the bathroom. It looks a little rusty, but it doesn't look like it's leaking there. You can see on the side here, there's goes to the sink, the drain, and that's PVC. And I think it's PVC to go into the shower as well over there. So that was been redone. So it's really just this stack here, this cast iron flange, toilet flange, and the stack that goes down. And you can see right there the pipes right in between where this hole is. So I can get a Sawzall in there and cut off the pipe here and then put a coupling on here and hope that the rest is good. Because if it's leaking up here or up here, I'm gonna have to re-gut all new stuff. And actually, I can reach all of this from down here. I don't need to go upstairs, only to take the toilet off. But yeah, this, like I already did the tile work up in the bathroom. I wouldn't have to rip that up. I would be able to reach it all up in here. Be hard, but I'd have to take a little bit more of the wall apart to get to it. But yeah, it'd be possible. All right, so I got everything out of the way. And you can see the crack is actually up here at the top. That's a pretty deep crack right here. So I'm gonna have to cut the pipe here somewhere because that crack looks like it's going up kind of high. So hopefully I can cut it somewhere because there's a flange here, a thick mounting flange where they connect the curve. I don't want to go past that. So I'm gonna take these lath boards off so I can see in there a little better. All right, definitely a crack. See the crack, it's real thick right here, and then it gets a little bit of hairline up here at the top. Now I'm gonna hope and pray that I can cut it here somewhere, even though it's a hairline crack here, that I can put on my Fernco bushing. Gotta go on at least, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, depending on the type you get, because I don't really want to go up past that. But yeah, there's a hairline crack there going up, so I have to be careful cutting that. But it looks like it's solid here still, and the crack really starts to open up about right here. So I don't want to cut any lower than here. So I could get my Sawzall in there and hopefully cut that out. And since this is a big pipe, since it's real long, I'm going to go and undo the stuff down below in the basement. So when I cut this, it just drops. So I'm just going to disconnect it. All right, so I'm not going to film this, but I'm pretty much going to take the clamp off there. And there's another clamp up there I have to take off. And I'm going to remove this pipe. And then when I go to cut that pipe up there, hopefully it falls down, just hits here somewhere. Shouldn't damage anything. Once you loosen those 2 clamps with just 2 screws. The sewage is smelly. And I haven't used this toilet in probably a year. Take a nice plastic bag, the rubber band. All right, that's how I keep the sewer gases in. Just make sure the bag doesn't have any holes. You can see there's the bad cast iron pipe. So I guess I'll leave that rubber boot. Maybe it'll give it a little cushion if it falls down to the floor. All right, so next step is go up there and cut out the pipe. All right, I'm gonna use an old Diablo blade. I used this a couple times. Let's see if it'll still work on that cut up there.
Check out that pipe. As I'm cutting it, it's starting to open up from the bottom part where the crack is. It's just wasn't that open. Now it's really it's like almost a ½ inch. Crazy. I know I'm not cutting it straight, but I'm trying to. All right, so the cast iron pipe only dropped like 6-7 inches. So caught up probably on that brick down there. See, the hairline crack stops about right here where my finger is, but it doesn't look like, it just looks like a hairline crack. It doesn't look like it opened up like it did at the bottom, so it might be okay, hopefully. If that leaks, I'll have to redo this whole toilet flange up there, which kind of curves into the wall there. I guess that's a 90-degree elbow. I really don't want to have to do that, but if it's cracked anywhere else, and it could be because it's very old cast iron.
All right, it's a bit dark down here, but you can see the pipe is hanging on right onto that piece of brick there. This is where it could be kind of dangerous. You don't want that falling on your foot.
All right, I had to cut off a little piece because it got stuck. And you can see it's only dropping like 2 feet at a time. So I'm trying to get it to drop more by twisting. It's hitting that brick. Yeah, it's stuck right up on there. I'm gonna cut it again, just keep going. All right, I did another cut, and I go about 3/4 of the way through, just enough so it can bend, because that's all I need for clearance. All right, that's all I can get. I gotta cut it again. It keeps getting stuck on that wood up there. Kind of a pain in the butt, just gotta go little by little. All right, I'm on my, let's say, the 1, 2, 4th cut, I believe. It's starting to come. Oh, it's so sharp. Alright, so I didn't even cut that there, that just fell apart right there, so obviously it was rotting right there too. And there's my cut. On the top, you can see how split that was. Get it in the light. Look at that, it was cracked all the way through. And you can see that says 4 inch on it, 4 inch, which is kind of strange. I don't know if that's bigger than the one I have right here. So that's out. You can see they shoved a bunch of insulation, blown in insulation in there just to keep the pipe. I guess there was cold and hot there before, but they relocated it over here inside the house. So I used Diablo blade, cut through, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cuts with this thing, and this was used. I had already used it like a few times.
Alright, so I just checked with a 4-inch clamp. The pipe that went up there is 4 inches, but the pipe down here in the basement going out to the sewer, to the city, That's only 3 inches. See, this just does not fit. Okay, that's way too loose. So that's a 3 inch or 3.5. I thought it was like 3.5, but the 3 will fit. You just have to really open it up. But so I got to think how I want to do this. Do I want to run a 4-inch pipe back the way I had it and have a little bit of a bottleneck? The cleanout was right next to the bottleneck, so it's really not that big of a deal. You know, the cleanout's literally right there. So if the bottleneck is right here and you got it accessible, if it ever does clog or whatever, I mean, it's right there. So I don't see a reason to actually go and redo this piping with something different. I'm thinking just to reuse that pipe 4-inch rather than going to 3. All right, so I was gonna go 3-inch, but I changed my mind. I'm going 4-inch since that's what I had up there. And what I'm gonna do is I already have this clamp here. I got 2 of these 4-inch to 4-inch Ferncos. I'm gonna use this at the top to go to the cast iron, and then I'll just buy some more 4-inch pipe PVC, and I'll probably have to cut them. You can see this had a seam joint in it because there's no way you're gonna get that long of a pipe in from the bottom up or the top down. Just even upstairs, there's 11-foot ceilings. It'd still be pretty hard to do. So when I get the 4-inch pipe, I'll use this one up top, clamp this on to that old pipe. I'm gonna have to cut that pipe up there a little shorter because you can see this only goes on like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something like that, and it bottoms out. Now these rubber ones, you can go in a lot farther. If I could pick up a rubber one, maybe I can. That would be better for me because I really want, it has a stress crack on that pipe. It's very small, but I think if I get a rubber one and I shoot that thing all the way up, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna get a 4-inch to 4-inch rubber for the top. All right here you could see this is where they went from the 4-inch pipe. This is 4-inch pipe over here, and this is 3-inch pipe. It almost looks the same, but it's not. And this is where they downsized from big to smaller with this coupling here. Alright, so I went to the store and got some 4-inch pipe. And there's no way you're going to fit 10 foot up in there. The 3-foot would fit, but not the 4-inch. I'm sorry, the 3-inch would fit. 3-inch pipe. I got that up there. But the 4-inch pipe I couldn't. So I cut it down to, I think, 4.5. I tried 5 foot. And it wouldn't, no, 6 foot wouldn't fit. I dropped it down to 5 foot and a few inches, then I got it in there. But here's the problem. You can't use a regular coupling like this because there's no way you can get that glued on straight enough because of this brick coming out here. So I had to get some flexible Ferncos 4-inch. And this will allow me to have a little flex in the pipe so this little bend here can go in. And then I can get it in straight. Because if I had a hole up above, a couple feet up, and then I could glue it there, that'd be fine. But I don't want to go and do any more demolition there. I just want to do it like this instead. All right, you can see how crooked that pipe is. But with the Fernco fitting, I was able to get this on, tighten it down, and then flex it however I needed to get it up. All right, so there's a lot of dust because of the insulation, but now I can fit it up in there just fine. All right, I couldn't fit this piece up on that one, so I had to put a shorter, I believe that's 3 foot 3 inches. This one's, I think it's 4 foot, so I couldn't get that one up. It was hitting here, so I finally got that one up. But I feel like I'm hitting something still. I'm not sure what, so I'm gonna go up top and see if I can figure what that is. So I got about 7 feet, but I think I still got 3 feet to go. All right, got a third piece in there, and I had to put another Fernco clamp. It's kind of like this, but it's the one that's more solid. Doesn't have the ridges. I didn't show that in the video, but it was a pain in the butt. So now I think I'm pretty much topped out. It's actually longer than I need it, so I can actually cut it and then put my other piece in later. But I need to get one more flexible Ferncos because I don't like these for the top, because the top, it's cut, it's got a stress crack all the way to the hub,
So I really want to get the flexible Fernco that goes all the way up to the hub. So if it is leaking, it will just leak into the flexible rubber, which is these ones here.
There is the pipe, and I put some epoxy on that hairline crack. I had some other stuff, some real steel I think it's called, but it's no good, so I just used epoxy. The real steel I think would work better, but it's just a very faint hairline crack. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get that flexible rubber seal, and that seal is going to go way up here to the top of that flange. So even if it does leak where that little hairline crack is, it'll leak inside the rubber, so it won't actually leak on the outside. So that's why I'm not going to use the Fernco, the smaller, the metal ones, because those ones I have to cut a 1 inch down from that flange, and then if I cut it wrong, yeah, there's no do-overs, so I'll be screwed. All right, so this is the 4" by 4" Fernco rubber flexible coupling that I used on it. And the reason why I used the flexible is because I had a hairline crack going up here, very fine. Didn't open up, but I wanted to make sure that this rubber could go all the way to the top of the flange, which it does. And the pipe's cut about 2 inches down, so it's somewhere right here. And then we got the PVC up in there, just past the clamp, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches up. All right, so since I got this pipe in with a flexible rubber Fernco, I was able to move the pipe, and have it actually go in crooked. So what I'm thinking to do is just, instead of putting these elbows on here, just cut it off here and just put the pipe just the way you see it, and just use a coupling right here. All right, I got my coupling on there with some PVC glue. Use the primer and then the cement there, regular cement. So now this piece can go back on right there. Again, later, if you don't want a bottleneck there at a slant, I could always cut here and do 3" from here, because that's a 3" pipe. I could always do the bottleneck here, so it's going down at least and not off to the side. But I'm going to try it out. I don't think I'll have any issues, and if I do, the cleanout's right here, so I'll be able to access it. All right, there we have it. That's all connected. I have this pipe a little bit higher, so when the fluids come down, it kind of has a little drop rather than a sinking part on this flange. Actually made it kind of straight here by lifting it up. It makes this more flat, so there's not so much of a bottleneck at the bottom. And it's pretty solid. Coupling's on there. So it's looking good. I think this is gonna be a better flush too, because there's no bends in it, no 45s. There was 2 45s there on that 90. So yeah, now to test it out, turn the water on, see if this thing's gonna leak. All right, this always is kind of a gamble, not knowing if it's gonna leak or not, but I gotta turn this water back on. It's been off for probably almost a year now. There goes that one. All right, so I'm gonna go and run the toilet, have somebody flush it, and run the shower for a little bit and see if this thing's got any water coming down it. If it does, I have to stop, shut the water off, and take this apart and figure out why it's leaking. But hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, just flushed the toilet and I got the sink on, checking for leaks. I don't see anything, don't feel anything. I think we're good. I do have a Fernco somewhere in the middle of this wall. That's the metal band ones, and that's about this high. It's only like 2 inches. Hopefully it's not leaking there. If it is, we're gonna check in the basement. In the basement down there, if it's leaking, it'll show up from there. And up top, I don't see the toilet flange leaking or anything. I did flush the toilet. All right, I got the shower and the sink, flushed the toilet, and it's all dry. So I think the repair is fixed, guys. Thank God, because I didn't want to have to go and rip out all the tile work I did up there in the bathroom.
No, it's dry.
All right, wife says it's not leaking. All right, so job done. So I got what, 2 days working this, 1 day ripping the pipe out, and the second day, which was only a few hours actually, I put the pipe up. So yeah, a couple days work, not full days, maybe how many hours did I work on the first day, do you know? Not too long, huh?
Couple.
2-3 hours to pull the pipe out, and probably 2-3 hours to get the pipe in. And that's being modest. So it's a pretty easy repair. You can hear the water. I don't feel any leaking down here under this Fernco. This is a 4-inch to 3-inch cast iron plastic Fernco. Clean out's right here, so don't give me any lip on YouTube, guys, in the comment section saying this is a bottleneck. I don't give a damn, because I got a damn clean out right here. If it gets clogged up, literally I'm like not even a foot away. So, but thank you guys, thank you for putting in the comments that it is a bottleneck, because I wouldn't have known it unless you guys would have put that down in the comments saying that creates a bottleneck. And I guess I do see what you mean, but the way I have it on a slant and the way I have this pipe running real close to the bottom part of this pipe and having this somewhat flat and having the top kind of bulging out, so I made it where the rubber's kind of, you know, making it flat at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little dark down here, but hopefully that'll flow better. I don't hear anything that sounds like it's not flowing too good. I could probably even take this cap off and have a look in there to see how it's flowing. But I'm gonna call this job done. Thank God for giving me the ability to do this stuff on my own, because God only knows how much a plumber would charge just to do this. Probably a couple grand. So score when you could save money and do stuff on your own. I'm not a plumber, but I do like to fix up my house on my own. And I do use YouTube and the internet for my knowledge base on how to learn stuff. I'll watch videos on plumbers. Sometimes for a couple weeks I'll be watching plumber videos, and I'll watch how they do cast iron replacements, and that's how I learned the knowledge to do this stuff. Anyways, this is Jacob. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is me fixing my cracked sewer pipe right here, which needs to be tossed. Yeah, it's a pretty bad crack. And if anybody's wondered what I use to cut my 4-inch pipe, very cheap saw from Harbor Freight. Probably paid maybe 30 bucks for this thing. Works just as good as probably the newer ones. Might not last as long, but if I've had this for a few years, still working. I just used a really long blade. And again, I used the Diablo blade for cutting the cast iron. This is a cast iron saw blade. You get these at Home Depot or online. Actually, I'll put this in the description, guys, if you need one.